take it for a spin. For Texas, the focus is on arm strength, high velocity, and jump serves tonight. Expect to see them take some risks against Houston.
And I'd say with those jump serves, you know, we've always talked about the Fertitta Center. It's a different, just bigger arena when it comes to serve and pass, gauging the depth of the ball. How far do you go back on that jump serve? You have a lot of space back there. I think watching Texas warm up, they're definitely getting after it back at that serving line.
Jared Elliott told us he was recruiting till 8:45 in Houston last night with an eye on the Texas Longhorn women who lost against UCLA. A recruiting opportunity, the Lone Star Region National Qualifying Tournament in Houston this weekend at the George R. Brown Convention Center a few miles away. They had the morning session, they'll have the evening session. This was strategically placed at 4 p.m. to allow many of those players to come and watch this volleyball.
And Coach Rare saying it's the 16s age group that's here in Houston right now, so just who they're targeting.
First serve is a service error. Texas last weekend played 3 matches. Baylor, Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and TCU at the Fast Complex in Houston. Still a few more matches to come, and the teams trade service errors. That one from Abby Vanderwall. Noemi Despena back to serve, a sophomore from Ivrea, Italy. She transfers from Georgia Tech. She's an outside hitter. Attacking there, Texas thought there was a touch. No touch on the swing from Kari Spears.
And you can see Spears going up on that right side. Like we mentioned in the open, she is going to be a go-to for the Longhorns when she is at the net.
1 year at Georgia Tech before Houston. And that's a terminal offensive weapon right through the middle, and we heard from Coach Jared Elliott, the spring Nia Button's having has been very impressive.
And Coach Elliott telling us Button has put in the work. She's coming back from an injury, so she really hasn't been full force, and he said she is now showing what her potential is, and she has improved so much in the middle for the Longhorns.
A service there from Bunton. Bunton's from Louisville, DuPont Manual High School. Injured that knee a few weeks before her freshman year playing with her sister, and has slowly and steadily got back. And this is probably the healthiest Bunton has been as a college volleyball player.
Not to mention there's a lot of good talent out of Louisville.
Including one Natalie Keck, Kiva products. And speaking of that, let's get your keys to the match.
Yeah, looking at today, you know, for Texas, they want to slow down these new Houston pins, focusing on them, but also focusing on that first contact. Talking with Coach Elliott, passing is always important for the Longhorns. For Houston, they said point scoring serve. Coach Rare explaining that to us as far as we want to get our points back at that serving line. And then also just side out efficiency. They're focusing on first contact as well.
There's a block first of the afternoon. Tori Stafford combining with Taylor Harvey.
And that's exactly what we expect from Stafford. They're getting over the net, and Coach Rare saying, this is the competition I wanted in the spring. This is what we're going to see come fall in Big 12 play.
Spears back to serve. Freshman All-American last year. A joust there. And a good swing from Tori Stafford, the 2-time first-team All-American.
And nice job there by Stafford, seeing that there's a mismatch on the block, timing there, not quite right for the Cougs, and she's able to slip in that cross shot.
Spears back to serve. Grew up in Frisco, went to Prestonwood Christian High School. Tremendous serve. A touch for Pitts and ace for Kari Spears.
And great job there by Spears. This is what Coach Elliott telling us. He wants his Longhorns to be aggressive today on this jump serve. She goes up, she's going after that top spin. Houston needing to find a way just to get a nice solid 2-option pass off of it. AVCA
Southwest Region Player of the Year. All SEC first team for Spears, and a service error. She was the consensus #1 recruit in the 2025 class, now preparing for her sophomore season this fall. Gets a rest here as Calais Edson set to serve. She's from Centralia, Illinois, a transfer from Auburn. And she has an ace.
And I like what Coach Rare had to say about Edson. She's just a natural leader. This is what he was looking for in the setter position for Houston coming into the spring and into fall play. Someone that's going to seamlessly transition in and be the quarterback for this team.
Service error. It feels like springtime with all these service errors.
You know, this is the time to get it out. Work out the kinks, see what works in your technique. Where's your hand contact? Right now, this is where we got to work it all out.
Tori Stafford, a semifinalist for National Player of the Year last season, 4.7 kills per set, and she has a service error. Now, she led Texas in kills, aces, points last year. She hit 360, second most kills per set in the SEC. And now it's Barron. This is a big story. She's from Ohio, redshirt sophomore. And she has a tremendous serve. She'll be a DS this spring. They're going to ramp her up to a potential return to outside hitter next fall. But good to see number 5 back on the court.
It is great to see Lily Barron back on the court. She came in, anticipated to be a solid outside for Houston, unfortunately having knee injuries that she's been battling. And Coach Rare telling us, you know, she's healthy right now. We're kind of easing her back in. She's just a defensive specialist. The only jumping she does is associated to her serve. So over the summer and into preseason, they plan to start working with her on her attacking at the net. But right now, just easing her back in this backcourt position.
Let's go back to the floor with Brooke Kirchhoffer.
More of a load management for Lily Barron, as you guys were talking about, dealing with a ton of injuries, been on the mend for a while now for Houston. And remember, David Ray referred to her as being the best passer on the team when healthy, and even joked that she is a unicorn because she has a 6-rotation outside hitter who can score and pass. It will be big to get her back in the mix this fall.
Good stuff. She has a tremendous serve. I remember she had 4 aces in back-to-back matches her freshman season. There's a good swing from Harvey. Talking with Coach Elliott before the match today, they have a ton of weapons. They just want to get a good pass somewhere in the middle of the floor to give those arms a chance.
Yeah, for the Longhorns, the focus is how do we get just a nice high 2-option pass? But you know, at the end of the day, Swindle, she can run 3 options sometimes when she's pushing her middles, and so that's what Coach Elliott is looking for.
Good pin off.
So quick, able to beat out that block that Greenberry's putting up.
Entering her 4th season with Texas this fall. A dump attempted there by Edson. Off the hands and a point for Tori Stafford.
And nice job there by Stafford. Recognizing she's got a double block on her between Edson and Greenberry over there, so finding a way to swipe off those hands.
Abby Vanderwall serves. Overpass. And off the hands for O'Toole. Noemi Despegna, the Italian outside.
And I like the energy from Gibson. Getting that dig, coming back at her hard. She's able to keep that up, celebrating that with a couple of her teammates, and Despegna able to get that kill.
Noemi Despegna, 22 starts at Georgia Tech. There's Spears. 3rd-team All-American as a freshman last year, 3.3 kills per set, hitting .295.
And we talk about the right side, just a changing role in Division I women's volleyball. It's becoming a more dominant position. Kari Spears, I would say, leading the way. They're showing how if you've got a strong right side, you're dangerous.
Back row attack from Gibson. And off the hands for a kill for Tori Stafford. It was actually last touched by Texas. It's a Houston point.
And you can see Edson there. She's saying, no, that touched her head when it went before it went out of bounds. So Houston getting that call.
Competitive first set in this spring exhibition. Houston leading 13-12. Tara Greenberry serves. Stafford first touch. Good read from Greenberry. It's a point for Houston off the swing from Harvey.
And nice job there by Taylor Harvey. You talk about middles, you want them to be up and available and ready. And so far between Harvey and Button, they are doing that for the Longhorns.
Greenberry from Florissant, Missouri, Incarnate Word Academy. Deep serve called out. Close call. Right on that baseline on the high floater.
That's what you want, though. Something that's super close. Make that serve receive, question it, but Texas does a nice job following it to that back line.
Here's Spears. That is an unstoppable serve.
Just great location there. I mean, she wanted zone 1, which is that right back corner. Jillian Pitts was there, but she even said she figured it was probably going out. She had a nice little reaction to it, but you can see she scooted closer to that sideline.
All sorts of top spin. This time she tries a slicer, back-to-back aces. Had the top spin into zone 1, this one into zone 3, and off the hands here of Sydney Jones. We saw 32, the new libero, Ramsey Gary. She's a returnee, was a DS last year. Coach Elliott told us it was really close between Gary and Emma Halter. Halter graduated, honorable mention All-American last year, and really no drop-off expected with Gary, and a nice swing there from Sydney Jones.
And Sydney Jones, one of those transfers that Coach Rare told us to keep our eyes on. Right now, she is filling that outside role that he knows they need filled to terminate in the Big 12.
Jones from Havertown, Pennsylvania, went to Tennessee and 1 year at Temple before finding Houston. Overpass, Jones first to respond.
And this is what Coach Rare was telling us. He wants to score points from the serving line. Not necessarily aces, but creating opportunities like that. Going after Stafford, creating that overpass, and Jones ready at the net.
Edson serves. And that's tough to stop. It's the freshman Henley Andersons out of Dripping Springs High School.
And you can see Anderson making her mark as a Longhorn on both pins. She was on the right side earlier, but in that outside position just now with that nice cross shot.
Two-time AVCA All-American in high school. Nice hands from Stafford. Tip. Roll shot picked up by Vanderwall. Pitts tracks it down. Down the line, no touch, and attacking error there.
And you can see Camille Gibson trying to go high hands down that line, but working hard. Gibson and Jones switching up. So Jones on the right side right now, just giving a different look for the Longhorns at the net.
Stafford serves. Aggressive a swing out of system that time from Camille Gibson. Stafford to serve. Back-to-back Final Fours at Pitt before joining Texas before last fall. Off-speed swing, Camille Gibson.
And great save there by Edson at the net. Right now, Edson is backcourt setter. She's able to go up, though, save that ball one hand and get it up there for Gibson to get a swing on it.
Lily Barron back to serve out of Lewis Center, Ohio, and Olentangy Orange High School. Vanderwall, big swing. It was touched, and it's a point for the sophomore.
And
SEC
nice.
all-freshman team last year, Abby Vanderwall.
A nice recovery there by Vanderwall. You know, not so good first contact. She knows the ball, the set is coming back out to her, and she's still able to go for that point.
Gary serves. Good swing right off the hands. Noemi Despena.
And Despena, she is consistent on this outside for Houston. And we're going to say it a ton of times, that's what Coach Rare needs. He knows he needs solid outsides coming into Big 12 play in the fall.
Pitt serves. Vanderwall off the hands. Vanderwall continues an impressive first set. 2.6 kills per set as a freshman last year, hitting .249. Out of Elmhurst, Illinois, where she was an AVCA first-team All-American. Rella Binney, and she serves. They're going to cycle through their setters, and Houston getting a lot of production from Noemi Despena.
And I like that nod from Binney. She knows that they're coming after her in that right back position, but Despena, she sees she's got a setter back there, take her out in that defensive play.
Nice offense there. The new setter, Rella Binney, right to the middle, 55 with another good swing, Nia Bunting.
And I like that from the Longhorns. If you have a good pass, Nia Bunton is up there and ready to go. She is going to get that swing off.
Really tough serve from Vanderwall. Houston keeps it off the floor. Stafford, two-time All-American with a good swing.
And nice job there by Tori Stafford, coming in like Edson, like Despena, and bringing in these key players and trying to just get that chemistry going here this spring and take it on into the fall.
Lily Barron is really the only impact player who has been with the program for more than 2 years. Vanderwall, tough serve a moment ago. She's back to serve again. Texas will use a few setters today, according to Coach Elliott. Relabeni, the Hawaiian, is in at the moment. Rainberry's turned away. It's Nia Bunton with the solo block.
A nice job there by Bunton, staying on the middle. She waited. She knew that was a tight pass, but Texas setters back row right now, and then following over to the middle. But nice job by Casal hustling. You know, Coach Ware told us she is scrappy on defense. She is like a water buck. She is all over the place on this court.
Now Pitts is more of the passer and serve receive. She is the traditional libero who runs down those loose balls. Stafford, a bit long. Texas thought it was touched. Maddie Casal from Wesley Chapel, Florida, and Carrollwood Day School. Didn't play at Purdue last year. She was the #1 libero in Florida coming out of high school in 2025. And there is a block from Spears against Despena.
A nice hand position there by Spears. You can see Despena trying to tool out of bounds, but Spears just full hand there, able to get that right hand to tap it right back down.
Blocking could be part of the game of growth for Spears. She had half a block per set as a freshman last year. And there's a block. Despena against Kari Spears.
And nice setup there by Despena. Greenberry coming into close, but overall they know Spears is the go-to right now at the net, so shutting her down is crucial.
Houston out to a 9-3 lead in set 2. Camille Gibson serves. Pitts keeps it off the floor. Despena, the go-to for Houston here in the second set.
And a little bit of a different look. Edson at the net, able to get a swing off that tight pass. Houston able to recover it in their coverage play, and Despena getting that point again.
Gibson grew up in Crossroads, Texas, near Denton, Braswell High School. Transfer from Oklahoma. Stafford angled swing up from Pitts. Despena goes angle. Houston in control in set 2.
And Despena is on a run right now. She is in a groove on the outside for Houston.
Timeout, Texas. The Cougars rolling up 11-8.
Here is building. Coach Rare said, you know, I reached out to Coach Elliott. I've gone over to Austin, really sat with their program, just able to get that feedback from each other. And I think it's awesome. We talk about it. The volleyball community is small, and overall knowledge is sharing with each other. And so Coach Elliott, nothing but good things to say about Coach Rare, and just saying that he's building a solid program here at Houston, and he is a solid coach.
Tori Stafford gets the kill, a side out for Texas. Her 5th kill on 11 swings. And now it's Kari Spears back to serve. She had 2 really good serves in the first set. Barron first touch. More from 21. Noemi Despena.
Despena is on a roll right now here in this second set. Like we mentioned, she's getting into a groove, and, you know, highlighting Coach Rare saying she committed to Houston sight unseen. She was in Italy. They were talking back and forth, and she finally gave Coach Rare a call saying, can I just go ahead and commit? And Coach Rare said, of course you can. So I think it's a great addition to the Houston squad.
An ace for Noemi Despena. Let's go back to the floor with Brooke Kirchhoffer.
Yeah, Natalie saved a lot of money, too, with that recruitment, getting it done on the phone. But it's the international background that really rounds out her game. She's really good at playing offhand. A little bit different because the way they play and practice overseas is very different. So the biggest thing is flipping that. And you might say, well, she was at Georgia Tech last year, but their entire staff is international. So it's a different way of learning how Houston wants it done and how Houston grinds it out. That is the hardest part for her, getting used to that.
You see the international experience. Youth Best Setter Award, but she is an outside hitter here for Houston. You see the numbers from Georgia Tech. Service error here. It's also very rare for Coach David Rare and the Houston Cougars. Not many European players during his 8 seasons with Houston.
Yeah, no, they have not had many foreign players on the squad the last few years. And, you know, he talked about she just has a different way of learning. She's grinding it out. She's learning the systems. But that's kind of the story with this whole squad right now for Houston. A lot of new faces. And since, as Coach Rare's saying, they're burning it down and building it back up, they're building back up their systems. This is not going to be a similar offense or defense like we're used to seeing from Houston in past years. So, you know, Noemi Despena is a part of that, and she's a key piece of it. And we're seeing that performance here today on the outside.
Henley Anderson with the kill for Texas. No touch, a point for Texas after the swing from Sydney Jones.
But I like seeing that transition from Sydney Jones. She's not afraid to take that serve receive pass. She releases out quickly and is ready to attack. Quick arm swing on that ball, just out though.
Nia Bunton serves. Off the hands for Sydney Jones.
And there we see she's fearless, going back to back. She sees she's got a big block, but going after it and tooling out of bounds.
Sydney Jones was the freshman of the year in the American Conference with Temple, last year with Tennessee, and now at Houston. Vanderwall down the line. SEC all-freshman team won gold at the U21 Pan American Cup alongside Ramsey Gary and her former teammate Aiden Ames. Aiden Ames, the only departure who's still playing college volleyball. Emma Holter graduated. Aiden Ames went to Creighton. Ames led Texas with 1.1 blocks per set last fall. It's a tough serve from Harris. And a point for Texas. Genevieve Harris getting a run at setter today. She's from Raleigh, North Carolina, Cardinal Gibbons High School. Part of the U19 national team last year. Learning from the experienced senior Ella Swindle.
And Harris, too, a part of those 7 that went up in February for that national team training. So lots of experience coming into this spring season with the Longhorns.
Velocity on that serve. Block touch, Texas. Good swing, Camille Gibson.
And this is what Coach Rare told us to watch out for. Camille Gibson is a force. If she sees a gap in the court, she is going to go after it, and that's what we see here on this outside swing.
Spears down the line. Henley Anderson. Pitts takes charge. Kaylee Edson back to serve. 2 seasons at Auburn, last year 4.7 assists per set. There's an overpass, and to capitalize upon it is Caitlin Evans.
And I've got to call out, Evans is quick in the middle for Houston. I've been watching her, just her footwork when she is at the net. She is going back to that 10-foot line, ready to go, always an option, and she is very spry in that middle position for Houston.
Evans, the transfer from Loyola Marymount. A response there from Henley Anderson. There's a connection for Evans. Born in Dallas, raised in Matthews, North Carolina. She has a sister now in Houston, so part of the recruiting trip this time was Sis.
You know, Coach Rare said it was a whirlwind recruiting with Evan. She was on the back end, I guess, of that window, that first window. Her sister had to take her to the airport because the portal closed. But overall, Coach Rare, I think, success in the portal through the winter. He said they had 8 players come in 8 days. They were able to take 6 of them to a basketball game. It was definitely quicker than anticipated, but overall, he said it helped them. It helped them kind of push and make the decisions on players that they needed.
Barron back to serve. Stafford first contact. And there's a block. Noemi Despina turns away Henley Anderson.
And I like that Despina with that swagger, walking away from the net, turns around all smiles to her teammates. She knows she is dominating on the outside for Houston right now.
Set point for Houston, 24-18. It's kept off the floor by Gary. And a heavy swing from Kari Spears.
And Texas, in Texas fashion, is not letting up this second set. Even though it's a spring match, they are still going to go hard to the last point.
Henley Anderson serves. Overpass. Spears, back-to-back kills.
And nice serve there by Anderson. This is what you talk about, that aggressive serving, force that overpass, trust your Longhorns at the net to get that point.
Barron, good first touch. Another block. Spears, 3 straight points for the Longhorns.
And Spears is static after that block. She was waiting for Despina. After Despina going off on the outside, but Spears able to get that one on her.
Anderson, a service error, and Houston hangs on to win set 2, 25-21.
And I'd say Houston coming out quick.
Flipped one of Tulane's recruits with the signing of Harmony Dobbins. And when she came on her official visit, Dobbins' family brought Coach Price a baby shower gift with an embroidered baby basket. A very good sign that she can build those relationships, and Coach Rare hopes to continue to see that now in her tenure with the Cougs.
Gave birth just 3 weeks ago and inside Fertitta Center for this exhibition.
You know, that's a committed associate head coach there. Jordana Price, great seeing her at Tulane, now at Houston, and building up just the recruiting here again for Houston. Coach Rare saying that's what was lacking as well. You know, a ton of things in this rebuild, but a part of that, he wants to bring back strong recruits to Houston and transfers coming in to build out and make a more robust lineup.
Underway in set 3. Right through the middle. Taylor Harvey, the middle blocker, with the kill. And speaking of middle blockers, Jordana Price played that position, so it's a new angle at that positional group, and they said there was a need there on the Houston staff.
Yeah, I think having Price as that middles coach just makes it a little more dynamic. You've got Kaylin Evans, Tara Greenberry transitioning from the right side to the middle. You've got Aiden Connor. You've got Ava Wilkerson, who is a freshman for Houston. So lots of potential there to be trained up in that middle position.
Spears will serve. Barron. Overpass. Bunton, the beneficiary.
And nice serving there by Kari Spears. We've seen she's got that aggressive top spin. She's going a bit deeper. You can see she caught Lily Barron a bit high in serve receive there. So it's making the decision, do you try to get your platform or do you take it with your hands?
It is fun to watch the serves in the spring. There's less penalty, there's less consequence. It's not a competitive season, so we're really seeing these student athletes unleash some serves.
Yeah, definitely more of a get after it, you know, mindset at that serving line. It's okay if you've got those service errors. There's no winner or loser technically today. So overall, both teams just going at it at the serving line.
11 service errors for Texas, now 8 for Houston after Camille Gibson just had a service error. Back to Henley Anderson, the freshman from Dripping Springs. And that's just out. 3 points without a ball in play.
We'll just trade service errors this entire third set to get us to 25.
Natalie, here's where you earn your money. How do you analyze 3 straight service errors? Let's see it.
You know, we're getting high, we're aggressive. Both teams so far jump serves. I'd say that's where majority of our errors are coming from, on the jump servers. But when they are in the court, they are lethal.
Vanderwall, her second swing ends in a kill. Abby Vanderwall, all freshman team last year, 2.6 kills per set, hitting 249. 5 kills on 10 swings today. Anja Kujundžić, the Serbian libero, in her first points today. Off the block for a kill from Vanderwall. Anja Kujundžić, senior libero. 71 sets last fall, playing behind Emma Halter. 9 aces. Began a career at Virginia Commonwealth. Greenberry sets up from the right side.
And you can see Tara Greenberry a little more comfortable on that right side right now. That's what she played all fall. She was getting settled in, but Coach Ware said we're transitioning her to the middle. So still finding her footing in the middle, a little bit slower. I'm sure that's going to come with time. The middle is a tough position, especially when you're coming from a pin.
Fast offense, but a block touch there in the middle from Evans. Big swing from Camille Gibson. There was no touch. It's a point for Texas. Abby Guido has checked in. Sophomore at Georgetown High School in Texas. She was a redshirt last fall. Springtime, an opportunity to allow everyone to play. Guido goes to the bench, replaced by the freshman center Genevieve Harris. Miscommunication there. It was right between Despania and Sydney Jones.
And great hustle there. Unfortunately, Houston unable, not ready for that ball to come back in the court and get it over the net. And I know points like that for Coach Ware, if you're in season in that fall play, they're crucial. You want to be able to get that back over the net, reset, and still try to dig out that point.
Missed serve from Harris. Oh, back to Kaylee Edson. 5 double-doubles last season with Auburn. Line drive serve. Spears finds the line.
And Spears doing a nice job on that outside. She saw Jillian Pitts is sucked in a little bit.
Houston has 7 blocks today. Service error from Hallie Schroeder. Genevieve Harris comes back in to serve. Callie Kruger in as well, the sophomore DS in the back row, joining the libero Anja Kujundžić from Serbia. Sydney Jones heating up in set 3.
And like we said, Jones on the outside, a little bit of hang time there. You can see coming up, she's getting up. She sees she's got that split. Harvey is a little bit late on the middle, so she's able to take advantage of that timing difference.
Kaylee Edson serves. Harris setting the middle, right there for Taylor Harvey.
And like we mentioned, these Longhorn middles, they are up and quick, ready to go. So for Houston, I think it's finding a way. How do you just get set? Do you get a good touch on the ball? Just get a high middle of the court dig off of these quick middle swings.
Tough serve from Vanderwall. Great touch from Pitts to keep it off the floor, but stuffed right back by Henley Anderson.
And this is exactly what you want if you're Coach Elliott, putting the pressure on serving, creating these overpass opportunities, knowing your players at the net are going to take care of that overpass.
This is the best I've seen Jillian Pitts play in a Houston uniform.
It's like you said, she's taking up a lot of space. She's rebounding quickly. I mean, in serve receive, it's a mental game. You have to be able to move on from your mistakes, settle in, try to get a good pass on that next serve.
Service error from Vanderwall. Pitts goes to the bench, replaced by Maddie Casal. Lily Barron in to serve. Redshirt sophomore from Ohio. And Spears off the hands.
A nice job there by Kari Spears. She sees the Houston block not sealing the net well, so she's able to push it down right in front of them.
9 kills for Spears on 16 swings, hitting over 400. Taylor Harvey serves. A dump attempted there by Edson.
There, not as much coming from these Houston pins, and Texas all around. Middles were dominant from the get-go, and their pins just very seamless. So Houston needing to find a way to slow down this Longhorn offense.
Rella Benny, the junior from Hawaii, in to serve for Texas. Set 4 underway. Stafford back in the match. Pick up from Pitts. Kruger into play libero. High hands. Spears finds the seam.
A nice job there by Spears. I think this is what we talk about when it comes to, okay, we're in the 4th set of this match. Coach Rare said, I want my team, we're playing 5 sets today. You have to find that grind, dig down deep. It's gonna be scrappy. This is where it really shows what do we need to work on and what is our stamina when it comes to a 4 or 5 set match.
Rella Benny serves. Houston out of system. Naya Bunton with another nice swing.
A nice pass there from Spears to start that off. She's got a nice little pass and still releases out, ready to swing on that right side, but able to feed Bunton in the middle.
Flip serve from Benny. Block touch against Stafford. Back to Stafford. Camille Gibson, pancake pickup there from Kruger. And a point for Houston.
A nice hustle there by Callie Kruger in the backcourt for the Longhorns. A little pancake action going on, just showing how scrappy this Texas defense is. We see here a nice little replay coming in. Gibson and Kruger diving up, able to get that nice touch.
Tara Greenberry serves. Service error. Emma Cugino goes to the bench, replaced by Vanderwall. Emma Cugino is from Galena, Ohio, went to the same high school as Lily Barron. Olentangy Orange High School. She is 2 years younger than the Houston DS Lily Barron. Substitution change, that was interesting as we saw Camille Gibson trying to get out of the way, and she avoided it just enough for the service error. Something you see sometimes in the spring.
Yeah, you're working out the kinks, like we say, seeing what mistakes are going on. You don't want to make those come fall time. Now's the time to get those out of your system.
Nice touch from Kruger. Heavy arm down the line, Abby Vanderwall, but it's an attacking error.
And I like that, seeing Vanderwall going up strong on that outside. She knows she's got that line open, and she's got Edson back there. She's trying to take out that Houston setter on that defensive play first.
Kaylee Edson serves. Soft float into the net. Callie Kruger, her mom Jenny, and her dad Kyle both played volleyball and basketball at Texas A&M Commerce.
And just beating out this Houston defense.
Tremendous serve, an ace for Abby Vanderwall. First contact came very close to the former libero, Natalie Keck.
I know, they're trying to pull me back in there. I'm retired.
Top 10 all-time in digs for Houston volleyball, Natalie Keck. A block for Tori Stafford, the two-time first-team All-American, showing she has the defensive side down as well.
And I like that. Big celebrations afterwards with her fellow Longhorns. Solid blocking happening here.
Off the hands, a point for Texas. That's the next step for her. Stafford, two-time first-team All-American. The logical next step would be contention for National Player of the Year.
It would be, and you know, right now how she's playing, just playing smart, going up on that last set. Pretty tight ball strategy there. How do you tool off that block? She finds a way to and get that point.
Just out, a point for Texas, but I love that first touch from Lily Barron. That was a tough serve from Vanderwall.
And, you know, Lily Barron, Coach Ware saying she's one of our better passers, and like Brooke highlighted, Lily Barron typically is a 6-rotation player when she's at the net as well on the pin for Houston. So it is going to be big for them to get her back into that role.
That was a heck of a serve. Lily Barron made it a 2 or 3 option pass from the back row.
And she's able to stick it well. She has nice platform, just angles, getting the ball up there for Edson, and Edson able to feed it out there to Despena.
Former 6th rotation outside will be a DS this spring as they work her back to full fitness. Off the tape, an ace for Camille Gibson.
And I'd say Camille Gibson has a tough serve for Houston. She's been going down, straight down that line right now. Stafford's there, so she's trying to take her out of an attacking position.
Stafford off the hands. Espana has a point. She's trying to fire up her teammates.
And nice job there by Despena, going in hard off of Anderson on that block. Like we saw in that second set, if she gets going, that is a game changer for Houston.
Despena, 13 kills today. Anderson went angle. It's in. The freshman has another kill. Henley Anderson was named best opposite at the 2025 Girls U19 World Championships. Addie Guido back in to serve. Barron gets to another, but it's an overpass. Through the block. Camille Gibson.
And nice job there by Edson. You can see all match long, they've been working on that connection with Camille Gibson on that right side back row attack. That's the third option. When Edson's at the net, you've got Gibson on that right back attack.
Noemi Despena had 7 kills in set 2, only 1 in set 3. Trying to get going again in set number 4. And Swindle finding Nia Bunting.
Thinking with Swindle back in setting now for Texas, it does seem a little bit quicker at the net. All attackers ready to go, but she likes to run just a little bit faster of an offense. Bunton up there and ready to get that kill. Tara Greenberry still trying to find just how does she get in that matchup against Bunton to get that block.
There's an ace. It's that center middle connection. Bunton and Swindle have played together for 4 years, both together for that entire time on the 40 acres. Anderson has an ace here. Pitts overpass. Bunton with the stuff.
A nice serve there by Henley Anderson. Like we talked, that's what this aggressive serving is. You want to force those overpasses. You're not hunting for aces, but you want to put the pressure on this Cougar serve receive.
Deep serve from Anderson. Caitlin Evans, senior from Dallas, back into the front row. Greenberry will depart as Hallie Schroeder comes in to serve. Off the tape, quick hand from Binney. Give Binney credit. Connor's sixth-year senior middle. And Stafford, part of this Texas group that serves tough. I mean, we watched this Texas team in person many a time, and they can just serve you off the floor when they have it humming. And they're really letting it fly this afternoon, this exhibition fashion in a spring game against Houston.
And I think that's a great way to say it. Serve you off the floor. You can get into a mental hole pretty quickly with this aggressive jump serve coming off of Kari Spears and others from the Longhorn squad. So for Houston, it's just the focus. How do you get a two-option pass? Nothing special, just make it stop. How do you get your attackers going again?
Despena off the shoulder for the save. Block touch there in the middle from Evans. Morin talked about the actions of the outside hitters. Spears, angled swing, she has another kill.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, you know, Morin and Shemida saying the same things as us, noticing the new faces, but I think it is, I can speak as a former player coming after playing, after your career, it is a little bit bittersweet. You're used to being out there flying across the court, then you're sitting in a seat watching everyone else fly around.
Spears up to 12 kills. Nobody contested Caitlin Evans at the nets.
A nice job there by Evans. Like we said, she has been quick. She is honed in at the net, ready to go. Quick in transition, always up when Edson is ready to feed her.
Lily Barron back to serve. Good pickup from Barron. Too fast from Abby Vanderwall.
And nice job there by Vanderwall. This is where, in talking with Coach Rare, how he's Jillian Pitts, she is our passing libero. She has really stepped it up in serve receive. She's always had that dominant passing. It's the improvements on defense, like that play there. Vanderwall coming right after her. She can just get a nice solid touch to keep that ball alive for Houston.
Spears off the tape. Despena responds for Houston.
A nice swing there by Despena. You know, late in this fourth set, she is still bringing it. This is where we talk about having that stamina of and outside. You are always going to be that go-to, whether it's in system or especially out of system. The ball is coming to you, and you have to be able to bring it to find those points.
Maddie Casal serves. Swindle sets for Vanderwall.
And Vanderwall having a nice fourth set here for the Longhorns on either side. We've seen this a lot with these Longhorn pins. They'll start on the outside and then work their way over to the right side. They can swing from either side of the net.
Pitt's first contact. Despena asked for a touch, not given. Attacking error for the Italian. Pitt's good hands. Despena has another. It all started with the contacts from Jillian Pitts.
And I like that Despena going into that seam. You can tell she likes that line shot, but when that seam is open, she will swing into it.
Despena 15 kills to go with 3 blocks. Tough serve from Camille Gibson. Tori Stafford, angled swing inside the 10-foot line.
And this is what we talk about, just top outsides, able to get positioned well, work inside that block, and still find that slim, just sliver of the court.
Addie Guido back into serve, sophomore from Georgetown, Texas. Overpass. Swindle, Stafford tip. Gibson picks it up. Nobody went up for the joust with Greenberry.
A nice job there by Greenberry, staying patient. I was curious who's going to go up first on that, but Greenberry able to get up and get her hands there. But I've got to call out Camille Gibson. She is very effective in the backcourt defensively, flying all over the place today and really just getting a lot of solid touches as a 6th rotation player.
Noemi Despena with the serve. Up from Gibson. Another kill for 22, Henley Anderson.
And like we said, Anderson having a time on the right side. These Texas Longhorns don't mess around with their right sides. They're heavy hitting, and Houston needing to find a way to defend that swing.
9 kills on 14 swings for Henley Anderson today. There's a block from Bunton. High flying as she turns back Sydney Jones.
And nice job there coming in. Like we talk about Jones, she is able to get up and have that hang time. So that's timing that Bunton has to work on to get that block.
Set point for Texas. Pitts, good first contact. Greenberry swings up from Anderson. Swindle swinging. That's the setter from the All-American outside hitter. That is something fun you can enjoy in the spring.
And Texas says we can.
And we've seen that tonight against Texas.
And I'd say when we're looking at those Texas setters as well, between Swindle and Benny, it's the same thing. Who's going to take the charge, lead the offense? Houston looking for that person. Edson stepping up, and we've got to remind people, we still have Clemis. Clemis was a part of the setting dynamic duo of the fall 2025 season. She's working hard in that setter rotation as well, but right now, Coach Rare said Edson has really taken the charge. She is going to run the 5-1 unless other things change in training.
Kaylee Edson back to serve. 5th set of this spring exhibition. Over from Edson. Now Harris setting. We've seen the freshman serve. She gets to set here to begin set 5. Good read in the back row from Stafford.
And I'd say long rally to start off this 5th set. Both teams getting after it defensively. Sydney Jones a little bit long on that swing, but like we see, she's getting up, trying to get a good view of the court.
Henley Anderson has showed well today. Serves tough every time. That time it's an error. You heard the report on Edson. She's a new setter. What have you seen from the Auburn transfer this afternoon?
You know, I would say so far she definitely takes charge running the court. Lots of emotion coming off, whether she's getting a block, a dig, or just celebrating a nice swing that she set one of her teammates up. Overall, lots of verbal communication too. I think that that is big as well, kind of just leading that direction verbally, but then also just by example on the court.
That's unstoppable from Tori Stafford. 4.7 kills a set last year. 2 Final Fours with Pitt. 2 first-team All-American nods. Noemi Despegna, a breakout performance this afternoon today for the Italian outside.
And that all starts Edson finding her on the outside, like we mentioned. Edson working hard, that pass behind the 10-foot line. She's still able to get back there, get her hands on it, and set Despegna up nicely.
Maddie Casal serves. Harris setting, Stafford. Block touch Houston. Stafford again. And a point for Texas. A new libero, Emma Coutinho, a former high school teammate of Houston's Lily Barron. She has the black jersey. Olentangy Orange High School. Pretty impressive. That school has produced 2 Power 4 volleyball players in a 3-year span.
I know, I was trying to count. Is that the 3rd libero today for Texas or the 4th? I think it's the 3rd. But Coutinho doing a nice job in the backcourt. But Coach Elliott told us, he said, be aware. We're going to have so many different players coming in and out, mixing, matching lineups. We just really want to see, where is everybody at right now? How do they congeal on the court in these different roles? I would say, if anything, the 2 stable ones have been Tori Stafford and Kari Spears, really just at play from Casal. Going into that seam, tough topspin coming from Tori Stafford, but Casal taking it easily and getting a nice pass over to Jurasic.
We've seen so many tools today from Despegna. I think relatively speaking, she's an undersized outside in the Big 12, but she has to be savvy. has to aim for those hands in certain moments against the Texas block.
And I'd say, to your point, being undersized, you have to get crafty. How do you go up on that swing? You're not going to have the height. She's able to jump up, but we're not seeing her get up there like a Sydney Jones. So she's finding ways to beat through that block, and when she's got a gap, she's going straight into it. But maybe that's a bit of that her international flavor she's bringing to this game for Houston.
Serve from Coutinho. Off the block, a point for Texas. Harvey rose well at the right pin. 0.9 blocks per set last year as a freshman for Taylor Harvey. Coutinho serves. Harvey coming alive here in the 5th.
And Harvey doing a nice job in the middle for Texas at the ready, but it all starts with the serving. We talk about it. You force that overpass. You got to trust your players at the net are going to take care of it.
Coutinho service error. And there is the 6th-year senior Aiden Connor. Kellen Morin's roommate. She got a shout out in the interview. 5 years at Columbia. Now in her 6th season at Houston, back in her hometown. And the 6th-year senior from Cyprus has an ace.
A nice serve there, coming in strong, high into that deep corner, able to get that point and tie it up here in the 5th set for Houston.
Connor serves tough again. Back row attack, ace up the sleeve for the Longhorns is Tori Stafford.
And I think Stafford knew,
From Raleigh, North Carolina. First team All-American in high school last year for Genevieve Harris. Here she is setting Harvey, and it's a touch off the hand of Maddie Casal.
And you can see Harris trying to wrap up this 5th set, keeping her middles involved. Harvey at the ready, getting that kill.
Just out on the serve from Genevieve Harris. Genevieve Harris, North Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year, 4A state champion in high school at Cardinal Gibbons. Part of a talented setting group for Texas here this season. Service error for the Houston Cougars, sends it back to the freshman Henley Anderson. It's that next wave for Texas, Henley Anderson, Emma Coutinho, Genevieve Harris. Tremendous freshman class to support the returning All-Americans in Stafford and Kari Spears.
And it's like you said, you see the up-and-coming Longhorns, what they're made of, the potential they have. We've seen a lot showing from them. Anderson on the right side doing a solid job, damage at the net. Solid in the backcourt as well. We see this tough serve coming a little bit out of bounds, but overall, Coach Elliott okay with that. He wants them to get after it, but I think these Longhorn freshmen have a lot ahead of them in this spring play and then into SEC play in the fall.
Anja Kujenjic, the Serbian DS, returns to the back row for Texas. Here's Lily Barron. And a point for Texas. That was a fun moment for Lily Barron. She could have served to the libero, her former high school teammate in Emma Coutinho.
You know, Lily Barron going after it back at that serving line. I was kind of more thinking about that dive that Casal had there, getting a touch on that ball. Houston not getting the point, but just seeing the defensive efforts that Coach Rare saw in bringing in Casal to the squad.
Taylor Harvey serving at 12-9. Tight pass for Stafford. She goes high hands for the kill. Another block. Stafford right beside Addie Guido.
A nice setup there by Stafford. Knowing Gibson's on that right side, she's the go-to right now. Edison trying to feed her as much as she can.
Match point for Texas here in the 5th. Harvey serves. Despena off the hands.
And I like that. Despena on the outside, working hard, not giving up here in this 4th set. Still pulling together points for Houston where she can on the outside.
Maddie Casal. Stafford first contact. Vanderwall with an attack in air. Trying to work on that right side. Texas, time to improve here in the spring.
Yeah, getting that right side in rhythm. They know they're going to need that come fall, preseason play, and into SEC play.
Stafford ends it, the 2-time first-team All-American for the Texas Longhorns. A triple header here last weekend. They come inside Fertitta Center. They win 4 of 5 sets.